That's amazing. A 7-year-old knowing he needs Jesus. I was raised in the church. My mom took us every Sunday. And when we were old enough to have boyfriends, they had to go too. Wasn't an if or not, they got picked up with our group too. And so it's the journey I have been on that God has led me is so amazing that he can forgive our past. He does not hold it against us because the mercies I receive daily now are so amazing that I can't even imagine a parent being that great. Excuse me. I was sexually abused when I was about 3-4 years old, is when it started. It was a neighbor. And I don't know, being a little young kid, you would obey them. Hey, come here, I would not think it would be bad. But I do remember something happening. I was flat on his bed. He was feeling me and saying, gee, I wish you were a little older. We'd have a lot more fun. That has stayed with me since then. I didn't understand it back then. I didn't understand what he meant. What child would? But God has shown that he has put people in my life. His wife was my protector. I believe she knew what was going on, and she tried to protect me a lot. But that doesn't always work. People have other things they need to have done. And I know she was there for me. She would let me sit and watch her comb her hair. She would be like a grandmother to me, and it was really amazing. Many years later, my uncle brings this lady into my mom's house. I look at her and I says, Grandma, because that's what I called her. I says, it's you. And she says, yeah. I said, are you all right? We talked. And I let her know I understood. And I did not hold it against her. She says, well, I says, how are your children? She says, they don't talk to me. I'm out of their life. I've been out of her life her children have been out of her life for many years because they thought she helped the husband or didn't believe what she's told them. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But I says, I know what went on. I know you. I could talk to them. I was a teenager saying, I'll talk to these guys. She says, no, they won't. I don't know where they live even now. So I let her know that I forgave her. Now we'll fast forward a little bit. I'm married. I have 2 wonderful, great kids. I had just had my second, and I'm working in this shop, and a guy approaches me. And we start talking and this and that. And he's a really good-looking guy, paying attention to me. I'm a wallflower. I'm sorry. But it was amazing that somebody paid attention to me. That's something some people don't do or didn't do. And so we started meeting out for coffee or whatever, and we'd get together. Yes, it ended up being sexual because I did not know love. And so my husband found out about it. It broke my marriage up, yes, but my husband wasn't an angel either. And it just thought, okay, I'll be all right. Many years later, during this time, the guy and I was meeting quite regularly, and he offered to put me up in a very nice apartment of my own. And he said, I'll take care of you. I'll make sure you have money. You take care of my clients. And I says, let me think about it. And that's when God stepped in. He didn't forget me. He said, Mary, who's going to care for your children? Their father, who isn't around even now with you? Who's going to care for them and see that everything is fine with them if you're not there? That hurt the worst, I think. I had to give up my kids. This guy wasn't going to put me in a place where my kids could be there. So that is where I turned. I says, okay, God, you've got to lead me. You've got to take care of me. You've got to show me. Yes, I've been in short relationships, but nothing has ever lasted. I've had 2 marriages. Neither one of them lasted. But the Lord has never left me. He's always been there with me. And I want to let him know I am a friend with my kids. I know who they are. And God knows who I am. He knows who each one of us are. And he doesn't forget us. We're there with him at all times. Basically, the excuse I give myself for having sexual relationships is I needed to feel loved. And sex was love to me. That's how I knew they loved me. But my children meant more. And God knew how to pull me away from what evil I was into. And I see him every day and thank him. Because even when I moved to Florida during the bad times, I got a job within a couple of weeks. I worked at Cracker Barrel. It was the best. I had a ball there. And I then got back into my profession, which is a caregiver. And I was good. God gave me nice clients. Down in Florida, I was able to live with them for as long as I wanted to. I'd live like 2 weeks with them and be a week off, so that they had a regular person always there. And God led me that way, and it was so amazing, the job I had. I made money. Who makes money? Not me, you know. But God was there for me, and I really bless him for what he's done to me. So please, if you're in a dark place, God knows where you're at. He is not going to forget you, but he'll leave you there for a while until he's had enough, and then he'll call you home. So, thank you.